Good morning, everyone. Just another beautiful day here in Thailand. So I got a bit of a late start. I stayed up late. So it's about 10 o'clock in the morning and the birds are singing. The sun is coming up. It's nice and warm. So I was just driving out from my house on my bike, and on that little street there are people living that have rented houses from Korea. There's some Thai Chinese there. There is local Thai, and there happens to be one of my neighbors. The woman married a doctor, and he seems to stay to himself inside his office. I think he writes a lot. But it occurred to me as I was driving past this one Korean family that the words they spoke are not like if I was in America, I was speaking with my daughter and saying, like, in America, just about everybody speaks English. Good morning, Mr. Guard. It speaks English. Of course, there's Spanish and a few other languages and cultures. But I found it rich that I didn't understand exactly what they were saying, and that it just threw a little dimension into my day, thinking, well, how interesting is that? And what does that bring to mind when we go through our day? Do we just go ho-hum? Or do we take an interest in the sparks like that seem to just jump out rather than just riding down? It's part of being present. It's part of what I call being present, being in the moment. The little things like those beautiful flowers, they're so fragrant. I ride under them and it's like a charge, an aromatherapeutic charge. And the traffic is way down here in Thailand. Like the rest of the world, the air is so clean. But it's even cleaner because this time of year, so many people go home and leaving the more populated areas less traveled, less exhaust fumes, and less people in general. So the trees get the chance to really recharge the air. And it's like it reminded me, last night was like being out in the middle of the ocean. The air was so clean. And that's another part of latching on to the dimensions of life, where the little things, and so many people say, oh, the air's so fresh. But are we elevated in our consciousness as we go through the day to appreciate all the little things? That is the most subtle form of consistent gratitude that we can have. The birds singing are really loud outside my house. And there's a big, huge bee's nest that's grown up into our house because it was outside of our house and the neighbors didn't like it. My wife removed it. She's been kind. And I am so pleased the bees got smart. They never bothered anybody. And what they got bothered by was the visual and the things that people attach to bees. Sometimes, so what do you attach to the day? You attach danger to a bee, or do you attach beauty and life force? So going through the day, we stack it, just like people selling online. They say, oh, stack up the value. And I'm like, and give a lot away. And I couldn't agree more. give more than you receive. So as I go through my day, and I hope the same for you, is that you give more than you receive. It's a formula for happiness, actually. And it's a formula for smiles, where there may be a lack of smiling with some people today and in the last couple of weeks, maybe months, who knows. But there are lots of reasons to go within, go without, and connect, be present in the moment, and enjoy what it is that life has abundantly given us. Abundantly. And I did a catalog once, my jewelry catalog, my Peter Stone jewelry catalog, back in 2008 is when it got published, but I wanted to do a catalog and thank all the people that made Peter Stone jewelry. They deserve accolades because it's their hands that make the beautiful jewelry. And we have fire drills every year and safety training and only a 5-day work week. And many of the people, more than 25, have been with us for more than 25 years. And that's like loyalty, and we care about each other. So I did this, it wasn't really an article, it's my philosophy and my take on life. And I wanted to share how when we give and we share, that we have an intention and an understanding that life is full of abundance everywhere we look. There's beauty just up in the sky, the beautiful clouds. And engaging, not just a glimpse, but engaging in that. Therein lies the abundance. But it's much further than that. Because if you go to a fertile field with a handful of fertile seeds, just a handful, my favorite little doggies. So if you go to the field and you throw out a handful of seeds and they grow and you come back the next year, you'll eventually, and the year after and the year after that, you're going to have so many flowers and so many, if it's flowers or if it's food like rice or oats or whatever it is, something, it could be watermelons, who knows, it could be anything, but they grow like weeds, really. If you go to the jungles and the villages of Thailand, it's like walking through an herbal pharmacy. It's crazy. And food is everywhere. And they have a saying here, no matter what, right? Fish in the river, rice in the field. So with that, that's really an abundant mindset, that they never go without food. Their neighbors help them out and all that. But throw that in the field, so much grows that you have to end up giving some of it away or sharing it. So where the mindset is lack, you don't want to have a lack mindset. And that's where people screw up hugely. Oh, well, I don't have the money. I don't have this. I can't afford that. I can't do this. Well, if you say you can't, you can. If you say you can, you can. And if you believe that out there, all the energy out there will come to your, you could say rescue, or will just do what it's supposed to do when you believe it will. And it does. And in the toughest of times like this, You know, one door closes and another door opens. So invite and look for, pay attention to what's ahead. What are the possibilities? Ask useful questions, not like, oh, why always me? Why does this always happen? Oh no, what am I gonna do? Well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I was listening to one guy, his name's White, and he's pretty intense. And he kept on repeating, pivot, pivot, pivot. And he used some fine language that I don't need to use, because you get it. You have to pivot and you have to make changes. Yeah, there's a reason, and it's a good reason, that this stuff is going on, because it's an awakening that you've been ripped off for a long time. And if people allow things to continue the way they have been, being ripped off for decades and slowly sculpted and molded into controlled beings, then I'm sad and sorry for you, because you will go the way, I don't know what way you're going to go, but it's not going to be a fun way. I'm not going there, and I hope you aren't. And you find first your center, find your strength, find power in the universe, in God, whatever it is, in your friends, family, find the power, and know there's abundance all around. When you have attention to the intention of receiving nothing but the best, you shall get nothing but the best.